back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sara and I have a 1.5-year-old toddler boy named Suleiman who is just over here. Hi, Bubba. Oh, mwah. He's a little monster. So I'm going to take you guys through 4 simple snack recipes for mom and baby. These recipes are customizable. You can make them to your own preference. You can omit certain things that you don't like and add certain things that you'd like to add to these recipes. And you don't have to be a mom or baby to enjoy these recipes. They're things that I tend to eat because my son loves to eat whatever I eat. So if you like this type of videos, please be sure to hit up that like button, subscribe for more content, and let's get into this video. This is one of my favorite recipes. It's a baked donut recipe. It's really easy and you can alter it to your needs. So we're gonna start off with 1 cup of flour. You can use ground up oat flour if you're gluten-free. And then I'm gonna add in 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. You can use a sweetening alternative like Truvia, stevia, or whichever. Now the next thing I'm gonna add in is 1 tablespoon of applesauce. Here I have about 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Put it in to this as well. And before I go any further, I'm just gonna kind of mix this in and incorporate all my ingredients together. So now I'm going to add in my 1 tablespoon of melted butter. I just used a vegan butter, but you can use coconut oil if you'd like as well, or regular butter. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla paste. And then I have a 1/2 cup of soy milk, and I added just a little bit extra soy milk on top of that. And I'm using soy. If you're gonna use a non-dairy alternative, you really need to be using soy because it's the only non-dairy alternative with enough protein in it. And now you're just gonna mix them up, and it's gonna be almost like a cake batter consistency. And you just kind of want it to come together, but you don't want it to be too loose. And that's what we're looking at. Now I have my donut baking pan, and this is a non-stick pan, but you can grease it up. I did put a little bit of coconut oil. We're only gonna fill it about halfway, and that's just so that you can preserve your donut hole. Now that they're filled like so, I'm gonna pop them into the oven at 350 or 175 Celsius for about 10 minutes or so. This is optional. I am making a glaze for my donuts because I like to have glazed donuts. I have about 1/2 cup or less of icing sugar here. And I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of my vanilla paste. Add in some soy milk. You can use coconut milk, you can use any milk in this one. The protein really doesn't matter for the glaze as much. And I'm gonna eyeball it just to get to a consistency that I'm happy with. So I added so far about 2 tablespoons. There you go. Transferred them to a wired rack to cool further, and then once they've cooled completely, I will start glazing them up. You can serve them up just like this, especially if you're giving them to a toddler and you don't want to give them any sugar, then just like this is fine. Just let it cool down and you can hand it on over to them. Like a donut? Let's see what he thinks. Oh, he's running away with it. It's a winner. It's a winner. He doesn't want to share. Can I have a bite, please? Is it good? So I'm gonna go ahead and glaze all my donuts. What you're gonna do is dunk your little donuts like that. You have a beautiful glaze. And there's our donut under. It's not dry at all, and it tastes amazing, guys. It's really, really good. Highly recommend this, especially with a cup of coffee. So with your oven preheated to 350, we're gonna put together these very easy cookies. They're literally only 3 ingredients. We have 2 ripe bananas, spotted as best, and the more ripe they are, the sweeter the cookies will be. And then we have 1 cup of quick rolled oats, uncooked, and then 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. You don't have to add chocolate chips. You can use raisins or just omit them altogether, but I think it becomes more of a cookie with the chocolate chips. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna peel these bananas and mash them up. You can also do this in a food processor if you don't wanna mash it by hand, but I find it so oddly satisfying to mash bananas. Anyone else? My 1 cup of oats. These are quick rolled oats again. If you use steel cut or any other type of oat, it will not bake the same. So you really wanna do a quick rolled oat. Now it's optional when you wanna add the chocolate chip cookies. If you add them in now, then it's basically an edible cookie dough recipe, which is delicious. But you also have the option of just putting 3 or 4 chocolate chips on each individual cookie if you want to have more control over how much sweetness each cookie actually has, especially if you're going to be sharing this with a younger audience like a toddler. But I'm gonna go ahead and add it in now at this point. So with my hands slightly damp and clean, of course, I'm just gonna take about a tablespoon or so amount, put it onto the sheet. And that's one way you could do it. The other way is to use an actual scoop onto the baking sheet. So I'm gonna do them in lines of 3, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and press my cookies because I know they're not gonna spread. And like I said, you can add other things to this. You can add protein powder, you can add peanut butter if you wanted to. You can omit the chocolate chips and use a fruit. If you use fruit, just make sure that you're using starch on the fruit to absorb any extra liquid. I'm gonna pop it now into the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're done. A cookie? Let's see what he thinks. He rarely ever gets chocolate, so this is gonna be exciting. What do you think, Sully? Yummy? Yummy. This one here you can see. They're nice and chewy and they're delicious. I'm gonna show you another really simple and easy cookie recipe that you can also make with a base of a banana. So we have another ripened banana. I have a lot of these right now, so that's why I've had inspiration to make this video. So just like before, we're gonna mash up our banana. I'm gonna be adding in now our peanut butter. I'm using crunchy, all natural peanut butter. There's nothing in this but peanuts. And that's a key for this recipe. You don't wanna use any peanut butter that already has sugar or anything like that in here because it will change the consistency of the cookie of shredded coconut. And then I will add 1.5 cups of shredded coconut. This is unsweetened shredded coconut. And then a pinch of salt, because you always want to add some salt. About a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. And we're just going to go on and bring that all together, making sure it's fully coated and it's all well mixed. There you go. And now with a clean, wet fork, I'm just going to go ahead and press them this way so they have a bit of a flattened look to them. 350 for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's see which one he likes more. He really loves peanut butter. What do you think, Suleiman? Do you like it? Is it yummy? Yummy.
Mama.
Yeah, you like it?
No.
I think he's impressed. He's very happy with these.
Good.
Good job, thank you. This next snack or treat is a savory one. I like to make sweet potato fries, and the secret to good sweet potato fries are a couple key steps. So I'm gonna start by peeling my sweet potato because the skin tends to make your sweet potatoes a little bit more moist and not as crispy as you like. So I highly recommend peeling them. The thing you wanna make sure is that you're cutting them into a French fry cut fashion. I just find that they crisp best that way. The next most important thing about fries in general, especially sweet potato, is that you want to make sure that they soak to get the starch out, and you want them to soak for at least half an hour. So after it's been soaking for a while, I'm going to go ahead and blot them dry. I just put them on a paper towel and I'm going to gently blot it dry and make sure that there's no excess liquid left on the sweet potatoes. Off to the side over here, I mixed 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with half a teaspoon of cumin and half a teaspoon of paprika and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Right into here. And then we're just gonna give it a good toss. Now we're gonna start to line it up onto a parchment lined sheet, and you wanna make sure that they're not on top of each other. You're gonna try to line them up as nicely as possible, just so then they're spread out a little bit and they have room to crisp up. And then they're gonna go into a preheated oven of 400 Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes before we flip them. He snuck a sweet potato fry, so he's just eating that now. What do you think? Yummy? Do you like it?
Bam.
Yeah, very good. Would recommend. And this is what we're looking at. Perfect. These are so good, and he's already dug through a bunch, so I think the verdict's good on this one too. All right, everyone, that's a wrap on the video. Let me know what you guys think of these recipes. If you try them, let me know in the comments and tag me on Instagram. If you like this type of video, please be sure to hit up that like button. It really helps my channel. Subscribe for more videos because I do upload on a regular basis. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. And bye for my little monster over here. Bye, guys.